So what's going on, guys? DIY Dan here again, and this is another episode of Outdoor Living. In this video, I actually created an outdoor propane fire pit. The cool thing about this fire pit is I got most of the supplies either on clearance or from garage sales. The fire pit itself with the control valve, I got at a garage sale for 15 bucks, along with the main part of the table that I used, which I paid $40 for. The cool thing about this is it has wheels on it so we can roll it around the backyard or on the patio, wherever we want it. The main frame of this table was all made from steel, so I know it would handle the weight that I was going to be putting on it. Now, originally it came with a wooden shelf and a wooden top on it. We really liked the wooden top, and we knew it would get ruined if we put it outside, so we repurposed that top and put it on top of our coffee table that we're using in the house to improve the way the coffee table looked with our new flooring. Then I ended up going to Preach Building Supply to get some ideas for what I was going to use for the siding and the top of this propane fire pit. And they had some material that was clearanced out, so I got this whole pallet of travertine pavers for 55 bucks. Now, what actually ended up costing the most for this project was the caulking that I ended up using to attach these travertine pavers to the table and each other. This stuff was $14 a tube, and I thought I would only need 2 or 3 tubes. I ended up using 5 to 6 of them. So that ended up being the most expensive part of this project. I also had some miscellaneous steel that I used that I had from previous projects that I used. But all in all, I'm into it for right around 200 bucks and very pleased with the end result. I'm going to be doing an overview of how I put this thing together to give you guys ideas on what you might be able to do for a propane fire pit in your backyard. And let's get to it. So the first piece I constructed was the holder for the propane bottle for this fire pit. All I used for this was some really thin flat bar material. I basically clamped it with some vice grips and then just bent it around the bottom of the propane bottle by hand, clamping it as I went. Then I marked where I thought I needed to cut it and removed it from the bottom of the propane bottle, stuck it in my vise, and used a grinder to cut it. Make sure you completely remove the propane bottle from the area that you're working because sparks and propane aren't a good mix. Once I finished making that cut, I brought my propane bottle back into the garage. I clamped the piece of steel in my vise, finished leveraging it into a full circle, and then placed it over the top of the propane bottle to see how my fit was. Now, when I marked that steel, I thought I gave myself plenty of extra, but I ended up being a little short, and I did have to add another little piece of flat strap to it to widen it out a little bit. Then using my welder, I tack welded it. Once again, removing the propane bottle from my garage before doing this because of the sparks. Once I had it tacked and verified it was a good fit around the bottom of the propane bottle, I went ahead and welded it up solid. I used the same method I just showed you for that smaller ring to make a bigger ring around the main part of the propane bottle. The only reason I used this wide of material is because it's what I had in stock and I didn't really have to go buy anything to finish out this project. Now, you would have thought after making that small ring a little too small that I would have given myself plenty of material on the bigger ring. However, I shorted myself just a little bit on that one too, which actually really pissed me off because I thought I had given myself plenty of extra on the bigger ring because of what happened to me on that smaller ring. Once getting those both welded up and verified that they fit around the bottle nicely, I just cut some extra little pieces of material to connect the big ring to the little ring. I used 2 pieces of angle iron that I had in order to go across the bottom of the table to help support this propane bottle holder. Then I used some 3/8 round bar and welded that from the angle iron down to the big ring in order to support that bottle. So right here's a little better look of how I welded in that propane bottle holder. I drilled out the hole for the control valve using a hole saw and anchored it in place using a couple bolts, washers, and nuts. Now, being as though this was all bought from a garage sale, I did temporarily put it together at this point and see if everything was working as it should. I do like the fact that this control valve came with a key. That way, if I forget to shut the propane bottle off for whatever reason and we have company, some kid can't come over and just turn the propane on without it being lit and lead to a possible bad situation. Once verifying that everything was working appropriately, I needed to figure out what I was going to use for the top and sides of this table. So I ended up going to Preach Building Supply, and that's where I got this whole pallet of pavers, as I discussed earlier. Then I got this type of backer board, which is what they recommended for underneath the pavers. And then they actually recommended using a thin set mortar. However, I ended up changing direction on that. I ended up going with some caulking. This is what I ended up using. As it turns out, the thin set mortar would have been a lot cheaper way to go, but it is what it is at this point. This backerboard material was a 1/2 inch thick, so I had some 1/2 inch square tubing that I made a frame around the backerboard so I would not see the edge of that backerboard material, and tacked it in place. It turns out that a 5-gallon bucket lid is almost identical to the size of a propane bottle, so I put that on top of the table, marked it out, and used my jigsaw to cut that backerboard material out for the propane bottle. I also did the same thing for the fire pit, which basically was a 2-foot square. At this point, I knew I was going to use the travertine for the top, but I wasn't sure about how I was going to fill in the sides. I decided, because I got such a good deal on this travertine and I had plenty of it, that I would just cut some strips out and use it on the sides as well. So I welded in some flat bar along the bottom, about 3 inches wide, to set that travertine on. I also used some angle iron to reinforce where the fire pit was going to sit, and welded it to the top frame rail of the table. I also welded in some cross braces going to the angle iron to help support the fire pit and the travertine on the other side, along with some other cross bracing where it was necessary to help support the weight of that travertine. I went and got a can of spray paint that matched up, and I did the hammered look because of the texture on the table, taped it off, and painted that ring. So I actually forgot to record me cutting this tile for this project, but it's the same method that I'm using here on these pavers. One is using a diamond wheel, and you can put that on like a 4-inch grinder. The other is using a wet saw, which is what I used for this entire project. So I will post an icon at the end of this video you can check out where I did pavers all the way around my pool, which goes into a lot more detail about how I made those cuts, which is the same concept as what I used to do these travertine pavers for this fire pit. Using that wet saw, I cut a bunch of 3-inch strips of that travertine tile, laid a layer of that caulking down, and then went ahead and set those strips in place. When setting them in place, I intentionally staggered them a little bit just to give that table a little bit more character. The caulking that I used was a fire sealant caulking, so I figured it would work well for the expansion with the heat and the fact that we're in Phoenix, Arizona, and the temperature changes are pretty drastic. I just didn't want to have any problems. I could have gone with a cheaper caulking probably that would have saved me a bunch of money, or I could have used the mortar for the same reason. The benefit I saw to using the caulking is between each layer I would have some downtime, because I'd have to measure out what I was going to do with the tiles and go make a couple cuts. So during that downtime, I wouldn't have to worry about the mortar starting to set up and adding more water. Plus, I figured the caulking was just a lot cleaner to work with for the application that I was doing. The last layer of brick was almost a perfect fit. It was a little on the tight side, but it did work out nicely and kind of wedged it and put pressure down on the other tiles. And since that caulking wasn't hard yet, I was able to just do a final check and move some of the tiles around if needed, if they got kind of pushed out of place while installing that last layer. When moving the tiles around, sometimes a little bit of that caulking would squeeze out in front of the tiles. So I just had a little bucket of water with a brush, and I would just clean that off as I went if that happened. I did have to switch out the water quite a few times because it did put a pink tinge to that water pretty quickly because of the color of the caulking. I used the same process that I did on those side panels to do all the way around the top. You'll notice that I've got 2 stacks of travertine. That's because I had to space the level of that fire pit up a little bit more so I could go over the top of the propane bottle, and this is how I decided to do that. I did have a small concern about that caulking not holding those tiles, but I gave them all a good tug after it dried and they felt very solid, so I don't think that's going to be a problem. So that pallet of travertine actually came with 4 big tiles. I used 3 of those tiles to go over the propane bottle, and obviously I did not glue those in place because that allows me to have access to replace the propane bottle when it's empty, and obviously access to turn on and off the propane bottle for use. So the one thing I have noticed is that I don't think the control valve is fully shutting off, and it is something I will have to rectify in the future. Right now it's getting close to summer and I'm not going to be using it anyways, so I'm not going to worry about it right now. It'll be interesting to see whether it's just a seal that I can replace or whether I'm going to have to get a new control valve. But even if I have to replace it, I found one on Amazon and they're right around $20 to $30 depending if I want to go with the antique copper instead of the silver cover. So I matched the color of the table a little better, which is probably what I'll end up doing. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and it gave you some good information and ideas that you might be able to put into play to create a propane fire pit in your backyard for a lot less money than what they cost new. If you did enjoy it, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate it. The whole concept of my channel is to give you guys the most information in the least amount of time as possible so I don't waste your time. And I hope to see you next time. Have a good one. Later.